Robert Barron was a family man, happily married to his wife and extremely close with his 3 children. He grew up in Old Forge, Pennsylvania, and took over the family business, Gigarelli's, in 1961. The popular pizza place was locally known as the pizza capital of the world, but the restaurant that was once booming with business was forced to close its doors.
I feel like his presence is there, but once I'm there, it's like, where is he?
Maria Barron and her family closed shop after Robert mysteriously disappeared.
It's torture. I feel like someone is killing me, but just not finishing the job.
The Barrons haven't seen Robert in 3 years. He went missing in January 2017.
He left around 10:25 that night, January 25th, and that was the last time I saw him. My son called me at 9:05 on January 26th and said, "Mom, do you know where Dad is?"
Robert worked a strict routine. He often spent the night at the pizza shop at an apartment above, so he could meet the dough delivery man in the early morning hours. But when his son, Robert Jr., showed up that morning to meet him, the dough was waiting out front, and there was no sign of his dad.
I mean, I would mention to him numerous times, we need to get security cameras in here, but he would just kind of brush it off as, nobody's, and of course you never think something like this is ever going to happen either.
Police searched the restaurant and discovered blood and a tooth. Months later, they would learn it matched Robert's DNA.
Would somebody keep him hostage this long? Because he would never not pick up a phone if he had a phone to call us. He would never do that to his family. Robert's family and friends held search parties for weeks.
I know Bobby a long time, and I feel that you need to find closure. He still could be out there and maybe need some help.
Those who knew the successful family and businessman fear someone who knew him well did something to hurt him.
This is a small town, and somewhere along the line, I think somebody should have spotted something that could give more clues.
We're joined by reporter Stacy Lange from WNEP in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Thank you for joining us. It's been 3 years since Robert vanished. Are there any new updates, and what are police doing just to keep this investigation open and alive?
Yeah, well, to answer your question directly, no, there really aren't any new updates. It is still a very open case that's being handled by our local district attorney's office here in the Scranton area, but there haven't really been any updates as far as the police investigation goes. We go into this in the podcast, but the family of Robert Barron really believes that the secret to finding him lies in their own community. They think someone they possibly even know might have the secret to finding him, so they're just playing this waiting game right now, hoping that that person, whoever it may be, eventually comes forward.
Wow.
Now, Stacy, from what I've been able to ascertain, the restaurant is still closed. What took over the spot, and do you think the family will ever reopen the business? Yeah,
it is still closed, and no one has taken it over. It's still empty. There's actually a sign out front to this day. It's been up there for 3 years with a picture of Robert Barron, advertising reward for information and finding him, and it's still closed. The family hopes to reopen it someday, but it's just not something that they're emotionally ready to do right now.
That's really hard. Now, I just have to know, you know the temperature of the community and the people in Scranton. Do they think Robert's still alive?
No, not really. I mean, the family talks about this in the podcast as well, but there was so much blood evidence at the scene that if he were alive when he left the restaurant, he would be in pretty rough shape. Yeah. And everybody who knows Robert Barron, he was very well known in the community, knows that if he were alive at this point, he probably would have found a way to contact his family by now, and there's been nothing.
Wow. Thank you so much, Stacy. And we are thinking of that family. To read more on this case, visit WNEP.com. Thanks again. We hope this spurs some action in the community.